because it's the way I feel. Sometimes you just got to watch a chick take it.
All right, folks. I am the one and only Matt FreeMatt. You are listening to the FreeMatt Podcast. Now, as always, this man right there, Sistine Chapel himself, General Patrick Flynn.
Your Grace.
Your Eminence. Your Eminence, General Patrick Flynn. Now, as always, we are a bit of a libertarian roundtable discussion. We make videos, podcast. I'm going to start making MP3s again, midweek bumps.
You made MP3s without me.
No, actually, usually you were there.
Really? Okay.
And
cheating on me.
I'm going to start trying to do more recordings, midweek bump of sorts.
Which, by the way, you talk about your driving while you've got your little lapel mic or whatever, driving down the road and recording stuff. We ain't done it yet. Use that as the excuse to do it.
Been tied up.
I hear you.
Lesbians got me. I was tied up. Like, what are you talking about?
The Lebanese?
Kidnapped by Lebanese. Oh. It was like the police have been hunting down like organized gangs of lesbians instead of Lebanese, like Lebanese terrorists.
Yeah.
The guys that tried to sell Doc Brown that uranium for the Mr. Fusion. Anyway, folks, outside of stupid jokes about Back to the Future, non-futuristic.
It is sad that I just now... You had to say Back to the Future before I realized you made a Back to the Future reference. Oh, my God.
All right, I'm going to say this and say it once. Back to the Future 3... Doc Brown told Marty to destroy the time machine and stop him. Told him to stop him. Mm-hmm. And he said they went too far. And you know what Doc Brown did? He went too far. The alternate ending to Back to the Future 3.
I never saw the alternate ending.
The one that I made. Where Marty not only destroys... He destroys the DeLorean, he destroys the other time machine, and he kills Clara and the kids.
Really?
That's the only thing that's right.
Okay.
You know that's the only thing that's right. He told him to not do that stuff. He got on to Marty for stealing the
almanac and trying to make some money. And
then Doc Brown does it because he fell in love, and I was like, you're an ass.
Yeah.
And the Marty, the man who's the proper guy, would have gone on with his life, would have killed all those people and destroyed that other time machine and just burn it to ashes and then run off with Jennifer.
Maybe.
And then he would have won that race against Needles. Needles would have been the one who was dead. And he would have pissed on Needles. He's bleeding to death. Like, help me, Marty, help me. Like, fuck you, Needles. He was like, says, Needles, you're the one that's chicken. And he opens his fly and pisses all over Needles.
Marty McFly.
Needles is the one, like, bleeding to death. Please, Marty. You're like, this is the last time you will ever call me chicken. And he just pisses all over Needles. And Needles is, like, eating out of a straw the rest of his life. He's just like, I'm sorry, Marty. Tell me, Needles, who's the chicken now? Sorry, Marty, I'm the chicken. He's like,
we went off the deep end fast.
Look, I just fixed Back to the Future. He's the zealot. He's the one who should have done what Doc Brown said and stop him. I'm like, okay, I'll stop you. Said Doc Brown's the one who, him and Clara got together and was like, yeah, I believe everything you said. I was like, I'm going to kill you. Marty's like, sorry, I'm doing what Doc Brown said.
Yeah.
And okay, Clint Eastwood ravine, okay, whatever. You can't fix that, but Doc Brown, sorry, you're a lunatic. We know you're wrong. You're wrong. He stopped him from, said if Marty was really smart, he probably would have killed all those people and then took the time machine and got the almanac and just said, fuck you.
Made Google money, right?
And he could have crucified Biff in the town square. Please, Lord, Marty knows not what he does. You're like what is this, like the Last Temptation of Marty?
Jesus.
Like the Last Temptation of Christ.
Right.
Please, Lord, Marty McFly knows not what he does. Like Biff, you spend most of your life being an asshole. It's just like, I'm sorry, Marty. The guy with the manure is like,
I'm just gonna let you go with it.
Anyway, folks, our article, not related to the alternate ending,
completely unrelated to the alternate ending of Back to the Future, which sounds way more interesting than the original ending.
Yeah, you're damn right.
Did it do anything for Parkinson's?
Michael J. Fox is actually pretty dope.
I actually give Michael J. props credit for what he's doing with the disease and how open he's been about it and what he's trying to do.
He also does like a guest spot.
And it's because
it's
because I respect the man that I joke on the man because he's worthy.
If I ever have something like that, dude, I guarantee you just lay into me and just like some nervous disorder, like got like tics or whatever. Like, hey man, while you're shaking, can you hold on to this milk and this chocolate syrup? Like, it's not funny.
Believe me, give me chocolate milk. Yes, it is.
I'm the one who's gonna end up with a disease or something. Believe me, I'm the one that's gonna get fucked. So, FUK. Brought to you by the fine people at eFucked. eFucked.com.
I thought it was Fat Bottom Brewery. Whoops.
eFucked.com is not a sponsor of this show, but if they wanted to be,
they could be.
We could make jokes about killing children. No, I'm just kidding. You're like, by the way, YouTube is never going to monetize this video now. Like,
don't put it past us.
Crucifying Biff from...
I'll just put it on that, what's that other one that my brain just went completely blank on the one that you actually do use. It's not YouTube.
Bitchute.
Bitchute, yes, Bitchute.
Because Bitchute thinks it's okay to joke about killing children and crucifying Biff Tannen.
Cha-ching!
This went south. Darkness, everybody, darkness. Oh, fucktards. All right, fucktards. This article, which is actually from, I love the name Lenore Skenazy and Jonathan Haidt, Haidt. That was from Reason.com, and that was, I'm going to give you the date so you can actually look up the link yourself, but this was 10/26/2017, and it was The Fragile Generation. One day last year, a citizen on a private, that's really nice, on a prairie path, be a little more polite here, asshole, in the Chicago suburb of Elmhurst, came upon a teen boy chopping wood. Sounds dope. Not a body. Not a body. Just some already fallen branches. Nonetheless, the onlooker called the cops. The officers interrogated the boy, who said he was trying to build a fort for himself and his friends, diligently working. A local news site reports the police then took the tools for safekeeping to be returned to the boy's parents.
Confiscated.
He didn't need them. The police were doing their jobs. So were concentration camp guards.
Now you're being dramatic.
You're like, police aren't concentration camp guards. They are if they steal a kid's tools.
Continue, sir.
The young man, whose last name might have been, Hertzberg or something stereotypically Jewish.
One name's as good as the next.
His last name was Flynn. What kind of Jews have the last name Flynn?
They're all the same.
All right. Elsewhere in America, preschoolers at the Learning Collaborative in Charlotte, North Carolina, were thrilled to receive a set of gently used playground equipment, but the kids soon found out they would not be allowed to use it because it was resting on grass, not wood chips. It's a safety issue, explained a daycare spokeswoman. Playing on grass is against the local regulations. Tards. One and all. And then there was the query that ran in Parents Magazine a few years back. It's a question. Parents Magazine is run by soccer moms, and they're full of shit. These aren't real people. They're the reason, besides Al-Qaeda on 9/11, the downfall of society. It's like Osama bin Laden, soccer moms. But soccer moms never get arrested by the FBI. Why is that? They're wrong.
Anyway.
Your child's old enough to stay home briefly and often does. But is it okay to leave her and her playmate home while you dash to the dry cleaner? Absolutely not, the magazine averred. Take the kids with you or save your errand for another time. After all, you want to make sure that no one's feelings get too hurt if there's a squabble. The principle here is simple. This generation of kids must be protected like none other. They can't use tools, they can't play on grass, they certainly can't be accepted to work through a spat with a friend. And this could be argued is why we have safe spaces on college campuses and millennials missing adult milestones today. We told a generation of kids that they can never be too safe, and they believed us. We've had the best of intentions, of course, but efforts to protect our children may be backfiring. When we raise kids accustomed to facing anything on their own, including risk, failure, hurt feelings, our society, and even our economy are threatened. Yet modern child-rearing practices and laws seem all but designed to cultivate this lack of preparedness. Then there's the fear that everything children see, do, eat, hear, and lick could hurt them.
Lick.
I learned the hard way that licking certain things were awesome.
Are you going over the lowlights?
And then there's a newer belief that pussy's great that has been spreading through higher education that words and ideas themselves can be traumatizing, like pussy is great. We're getting there. If you're over 40, chances are good that you had you had scads of free time as a child. I can't read. Me no read good. After school, on weekends, over the summer. And chances are also good that if you were asked about it now, you'd go on and on about playing in the woods and riding your bike until the streetlights came on.
Come home before dark.
After school, kids no longer come home with a latch key and roam the neighborhood. Instead, they're locked into organized, supervised activities. Youth sports are a $15 billion business that has grown by 55% since just 2010. Children as young as third grade are joining traveling teams.
That's a big jump.
Shit, yeah. Which means their parents spend a lot of time in the car too, or they're at tutoring, or they're at music lessons. And if all else fails, they are in their rooms online. Even if parents want to shoo their kids outside and don't come home until dinner, it's not as easy as it once was. Often there are no other children around to play with. Even more dishearteningly, adults who believe it's good for young people to run some errands or play kickball down the street have to think twice about letting them, because busybodies, which I call soccer moms, cops, and social workers are primed to equate unsupervised, that's in quotations, with neglected and in danger.
That's a problem.
I mean, I have a windowless van. You know how hard it is to get the dang kids into a windowless van these days?
Yeah, especially when you don't have the chloroform.
No free candy. These kids, there's no free candy. They have their own candy. kind of shit is that? Trench coats aside, these examples represent a new outlook. The belief that any time kids are doing anything on their own, they're automatically under threat. But that outlook is wrong. The crime rate in America is back down to what it was in 1963, which means that most of today's parents grew up playing outside when it was more dangerous than it is today.
Let that sink in.
I'm one of those people, by the way.
Not helping the argument.
I mean, I haven't flashed a school bus in years, dude.
It's because, forgot my employee's favorite name. Ernie. Yes, that's Ernie's job.
You stay away from my school bus, Matt. It's my corner. Fuck off.
See? Done pissed him off.
And yet, it doesn't feel safer. While Harvard psychologist Steven Pinker writes in 2011's The Better Angels of Our Nature that life in most countries is safer today than at any time in human history, the press keeps pushing paranoia. Thank you. But perhaps the single best example of how fantastically fearful we've become occurred when the city of Richland, Washington, got rid of all the swings on its school playgrounds. The love of swinging is probably older than humanity itself, given our arboreal origins. Trees,
I would say running and wrestling, but that's another
monkeys
issue.
and trees.
Yeah, okay.
But as a school district spokesman explained, swings have been determined to be the most unsafe of all the playground equipment on a playground because you're chicken shits.
Well, I can't do nothing but agree on that.
The problem is that kids learn by doing. Trip over a tree stump and you look to learn down. Thank you.
You look to learn down?
You learn to look down.
There we go.
You look to learn down.
Product of a public education, folks, right here.
Me read so good. That's impossible.
We might not make money, but we sure do have fun here.
There's an old saying, hey, man, if you donate money, you have to learn how to read. Or try. There's an old saying, prepare your child for the path, not the path for your child. We're doing the opposite. Ironically, there are real health dangers in not walking, biking, or hopping over that stump. A Johns Hopkins study this summer found that the typical 19-year-old is as sedentary as a 65-year-old. The Army is worried that its recruits don't know how to skip or do somersaults. Because if I put a 19-year-old on the battlefield, he'll be skipping and doing somersaults.
Right. I kind of thought that was oxymoronic. But there is one thing, though.
Coordination.
That's where I was going with it. I do see their point because what they're stressing is not so much the actual skipping and somersault, but it's the coordination required to do those movements. But that's another issue.
Alrighty then.
Here you go.
Laces out. Not letting your kid climb a tree because he might fall robs him of a classic childhood experience.
Education.
But being emotionally overprotective takes away something else. We have raised a generation of young people who have not been given the opportunity to experience failure and realize that they can survive it. And that was a quote from Peter Gray.
Peter Gray. Are we sure about anybody named Gray?
Gray Peter. Gray has said, when Lenore's son came in 8th of 9 teams in Summer Camp Bowling League, he got an 8th place trophy. That moral was clear. We don't think you can cope with the negative emotions of finishing second to last.
First off, if you got second place, guess what? You still lost. You were just the first loser.
Second loser.
No, you were the first. Second is the first loser.
Oh, I meant like 8th out of 9th means like you were
8th out of 9th is like I showed up. Period. I showed up.
I mean, you were almost completely unsuccessful.
Participation trophies are bullshit, okay?
Plays the whole thing. All mammals play with the whole thing. All mammals play Many mammals play with their junk.
Play with my whole thing. Got it.
It is a drive installed by Mother Nature. Hippos do backflips in the water. Dogs fetch sticks, and gazelles run around engaging in a game that looks awful a lot like tag. Thank you. It actually conditions your flight and flight. That's actually in here.
I know. I was like, don't spoil it.
Unstructured, unsupervised time for play is one of the most important things we have to give back to kids if we want them to be strong and happy and resilient. In earlier generations, this would have been seemed a bizarre and wildly overprotective upbringing. Society had certain age-related milestones that most people agreed on. Kids might be trusted to walk to school by first grade. They might get a latchkey at 8, take on a paper route around 10, start babysitting around 12. But over the past generation or so, those milestones disappeared. Buried by fears of kidnapping, the rise of supervised activities, and the preeminence of homework. Parents today know all about the academic milestones that kids are supposed to reach, but not about the moments when kids used to start joining the world. The responsibility expected of kids not so long ago had become almost inconceivable. Published in 1979, the book Your 6-Year-Old, Loving and Defiant includes a simple checklist for what a child entering, I believe it's at first grade, and I'm really bad about fumbling here.
Well, considering you're down a digit, I'll let it go.
It's hard to open bananas. We're
We're
all apes here. We're fucking primates.
Are you sure you're talking about the banana? Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
I'm not a dick stalker. Fuck off.
You're a banana peeler, right?
Flynn go, she sucks.
Until you work there and I pay you. I see how it is.
I'll shut up now. All right. These are questions to think. Can he draw and color and stay within the lines of design being colored? Can he ride a small 2-wheel bicycle without helper wheels? Training wheels.
Yeah.
Can he travel alone in the neighborhood 4 to 8 blocks, so quite a bit of ways, to a store, school, playground, or friend's home?
4 to 8 blocks.
Hang on. Walk to the store at 6 alone?
Oh my God.
And as mentioned, norms have dramatically changed. The kind of freedom that seemed unremarkable a generation ago has become taboo, and in some cases even illegal. And it said, when parents curtail their kids' independence, they're not just depriving the younglings of childhood fun, they're denying themselves the grown-up joy of seeing their kids do something smart, brave, or kind without parental guidance. Development. It's a development thing.
Oh shit, development.
And not just breast. Which is, I don't even know why I was thinking about that.
I'm more of an ass man, so I don't know.
I'm an ass man.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I'm an ass man. Dun. Oh, we need to play that song now.
I love to kiss him.
Yeah, it's for those that don't know and who never watched wrestling and who should probably be shot because of it. Look up the theme for Bart B.A. Billy Gunn, Mr. Ass. Look up his theme. It's from that. You'll love it if you're an ass man.
Call me Mr. Ass. And without talking about asses,
bullshit?
What is to be done?
Watch.
By trying to keep children safe from all risk, obstacles, hurt feelings, and fears, our culture has taken away the opportunities they need to become successful adults, and treating them as fragile, emotionally, socially, and physically. Society actually makes them so. Treating them as fragile, by the way.
Fragile.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I had to do it.
Let me tell you something, Mean Gene.
We made pro wrestling references. I had to do it.
It's Macho. That wasn't Macho Man, but this is Hollywood Hulk Hogan over here. Like, To combat this real problem, we have established a new nonpartisan nonprofit, the Let Grow Foundation.
Actually, I think you need to say that name in a normal voice where people can hear it, because I actually think that foundation has some merit.
That was the Let Grow Foundation, capital L, capital G, capital F.
Apparently, they're doing some really good things. If you like the idea of self-ownership, freedom, exploration, and letting your kids be fucking kids, I don't even have kids, and this shit sounds good. So
their goal is to restore resilience by overthrowing the culture of overprotection.
And what was the name of that foundation? One more time, sir.
That was Let Grow Foundation.
Check them out. They are worthy, folks.
Now, I don't know if it was, I'm just so blinded by the fact that I got to do things like go ride to get calendars or go hang out. We used to go hang out used to ride my bike downtown with my brother to go get calendars.
Oh, you're talking a bicycle, an actual bike.
Yeah,
like a bicycle.
I was like 7.
Well, you say bike, and I automatically think motorcycle.
I was 7 years old. I mean, take our bicycles.
Queen.
Yeah.
I want to ride my bicycle.
I
actually hate that song, but that's beside the point.
I went to get the calendars. I went and took my bike. And the thing is that we got to go run errands. We used to go hang out.
You ran into Erin?
Funny. Not really. She actually lived down the road from me. She hated me.
Was she nice?
No.
Was she hot?
She was pretty.
Okay.
She just really, really didn't like me. And
I wonder why.
Born to raise hell.
We know how to do it, and we do it real well.
It's Lemmy.
Oh.
It's Lemmy.
Lemmy.
Born to raise hell.
Motorhead song off of it was that fucking
Airhead soundtrack.
It was an Airhead soundtrack, but it was, I believe it, the Bastards. I believe that song was off the Bastards album that was actually only available in Germany at the time, before all the download, you could download actual music and stuff. So it's Bastards was the actual name of the album.
All right,
and trivia, Bastards was supposed to be the original name for
Motorhead.
Yes.
Motorhead was a drug reference.
Really? Huh. Doesn't surprise me.
Like Motorhead's a guy going nuts. Like, it's always on some shit. Like PCP.
Hell. Lemmy was around before I was born, so I always thought Motorhead meant his band.
Back to the thing about being able to ride around and stuff like that. We were trusted to do things like
Yet
that.
again, a Motorhead reference. Run around, man.
Went to the ballpark
all day, folks. All day.
We sometimes we'd we were really daring. We'd go up to Kroger's. Kroger's is quite a distance away, but even when I was 11 or 12, we used to go hang out at this place called I'll just call it the
drugstore.
The drugstore, and it's a complex. It was a complex of stores.
It's a store, not a drug store for come get your heroin. No, it was an actual pharmaceutical drug store.
And the thing is, we hung out in the parking lot.
There you go, FDA, carts. Suck it.
We'd go race carts and ride bicycles and, it's all stupid little shit. Hang out in the woods and ride around a fucking neighborhood. There was another neighborhood. Sometimes we'd go down there, if we're really daring, go down the other neighborhood to go see a buddy of mine who's a lawyer now, but he had when we were teenagers, he had a green mohawk, but he lived several streets down from us on the south end of our street, which is probably 2 miles away, but it seems farther when you're 11, 12 years old. But I remind you, now people are within, your parents tell you within shouting distance. Like, hey man, make sure you're in shouting distance.
Yeah, shouting distance, or in my case, it was whistling distance, because we lived on top of a hill. So mom's rule was be within earshot of my whistle when I want you to come home, and that was what you listened for.
One of the weird things I want to tell you folks about this story was the developments I've seen in society. I always say that if people were capable, we're teaching ourselves more self-responsibility and self-accountability,
ownership,
that you would have more freedoms and more choices. But when you run into the soccer mom attitude that somebody ought to do something, and that's the reason why kids can have lemonade stands. That's why kids don't, aren't able to go ride their bikes, a mile down the road.
Afraid of failure and afraid of risk.
And the thing is, it wasn't. There's boogeymen everywhere. The boogeyman will be there if you create them. But the whole thing is that we learn how to deal with people. We learn how to interact with other people. There's people now, kids I meet today, like 17, 18, that do not know how to talk to an adult.
It's because they don't know. Well, I think it's like they have no conflict resolution skills.
That has a lot to do with it, yeah.
Yeah. Because, like you were talking about, they don't know how to talk to an adult. Well, if they don't know how to talk to somebody, they're afraid to offend somebody. And if they offend somebody, they don't know how to deal with that conflict, so they shut down. If they've dealt with that conflict before, they may say something like, well, I've had this problem before. I've ran into it a time or two. I know how to deal with it. I can start a conversation. If it goes that way, I can handle it. If it doesn't, well, it's something new. Let's see what happens. So you lose that when you don't have those conflict resolution skills. You just shut down.
And the thing is that when you meet somebody who still raises their kids that way, you're wildly surprised when you run into them. And not only do the vast majority of them aren't wildings, they're people. They're
where the wild things are.
Oh yeah, they're people that are capable of even if they're like skillless assholes when they get older, they're still able to interact with people. And I'm like, that's why I think like people are impossible when it comes to I can't meet anybody. Like when you're trying to meet people of the opposite sex, don't want to leave. They can't shop. Like we're conditioning, zombies. And I was like, fuck.
No, we're not making a cranberries reference.
Did you have to?
I really had to.
Did you have to let it linger?
Yes, I did.
I'll give that one to you. She just died.
I don't care. I will give it to you.
Now that she died, did she become a zombie?
I don't.
Zombie.
I don't know her personally. I don't know her backstory. But I hated the Cranberries in the 90s. I hate them today. So, whatever. Just whatever.
I actually remember her singing. So she's actually when they let her get her into music where she could really open up, man, she's a pretty damn good singer. She had a very unique, this Gaelic sound to her.
That I'll give you. They did have a unique sound. I will give you that. And I also think it was cool for the remake of Zombies that the Bad Wolves did. They actually, I'll give them credit because they actually wanted the singer from Cranberries to come in on it. She just passed away before they could get it to happen. But they took all the proceeds from that song and donated it to the families and stuff of her, or her family and stuff. I thought that was cool. There's my shout out, I guess you could say.
Oh, and by the way, even though I probably have a good way to get into mischief here. That is Ben Riak, because he's got better hand. He's got a better hand than I do.
Skills. Mm-hmm.
This is Ben Riak. Single malt scotch, baby.
And what I've been drinking tonight, so far anyway, they are not an official sponsor of the show, but they damn well can be if you ever do see this. This is Fat Bottom Brewery, logo out. They're from Nashville, Tennessee. You get a six-pack of Tall Boys, very decently priced, 4 ounces free with each six-pack.
Put it in your mouth. Put it in your mouth. Put that beer in your mouth. Special thanks to Joey the Mick.
But you better not dip your balls in it.
Man, that beer is so great. I'll dip my balls in it. All right, folks, we're going to wrap it up without blinding you with a light here.
Blinded by the light. I don't know if they heard that, but
Manfred Mann and the Earth Band, I think. She got down, but she never make it through the night. Before it's time, man. Manfred Mann.
Do you think we could ever do this show sober?
No.
Exactly.
Well, folks, live your life within liberty. I want you to do. I want you to be.
Do be.
Thank you, sir. Love one another as you would want them to love you. Please spread blessings where possible. I want First, I wanted to thank General Patrick Flynn for joining us, but I do want to ask him if he had any parting words.
No, not many parting words. I guess
Smoke weed every day.
Well, drink beer every day because I'm not a smoker. Just drink beer every day.
Believe me, I don't think we could do a podcast.
And show love to your strippers.
5s, not 1s. I have a weird question. Do you think we could do this podcast if we were like fucking stoned? I'm talking about like hanging out in the Sears parking lot, 1998.
You guys want to know a secret? Do you? You want to know a secret? I've never been stoned, so I have no idea.
One day they're going to legalize in this state, and we're going to get Chinese-eyed.
I'm up.
I was going to say, if we had found a Chinese person, would they get German-eyed? Kraut-eyed.
Kraut-eyed.
All right, folks. Please take care of yourselves. Thank you for stopping by.
Kraut-eyed is...
Kraut-eyed.
That's going to be